I'm your host, Logan 23. You're joining me for Courtesan of Rome, Chapter 13. 8 years ago in Gaul, your mother places the heart of a snared rabbit on the fire, sending a thick plume of oily smoke up to the heavens. Accept this offering, gods of our ancestors. Great Mother, we offer you, as always, the choicest parts of our kill, that you might know we feed you before ourselves. Tenrex coughed ostentatiously, and from where he is sitting outside the fire circle, polishing a sword. Why bother with all this prayer, Mother? The gods have shown themselves, and they are either powerless or our enemies. The gods are biding their time. The gods don't think as we do. They must have some larger plan that we can't see. Yet you pray to them still, when they have done nothing for us. Why even waste the time? I understand your doubts, Cinerax, but the goddess has never led me wrong. Your mother's voice grows distant as she lays a fragrant stem of rosemary on the fire and over the still burning hearth. I received my first vision from Isis when I was 13. I dreamt of forests and snow, things I'd never seen in Egypt. But they became more real to me than my own home. I never thought I was going mad. Did you know what you were seeing? I prayed for clarity, and Isis herself came to reveal that this was my future. My destiny lay to the north. Oh, were you frightened? Did you trust Isis right away, or was it hard to think about leaving behind everything you knew? I doubted myself so many times. Isis stopped speaking on the journey. I had no comfort, just sore feet, bad food, and cold like I had never felt before. I started to wonder if my visions were ever been real. And then I was taken captive. You were? I had never seen anything as frightening as these men. They were dressed in skins, face painted in blue, and wild head dresses as feathers. I had heard of the Gauls practicing human sacrifice. I was certain I was going to die, far from home, never fulfilling the destiny Isis had for me. Gauls, were they? Wait, let me point out the fact that you faltered in your religion. You just thought it would never happen. Yes, they were Catanui. They brought me to your father, and... Your father comes out of the tent smiling and sits down beside your mother, pulling her hand into his lap. Since that day, she has never doubted her destiny. Indeed, nor I doubt that the gods often bring it in the most unexpected ways. Okay. Red and Circus. In the chalet, Xanthe carefully paints her lips with a mixture of red or ochre and beeswax, critically checking her appearance in a polished copper mirror. You roll your eyes. You look fine. But do I look good enough for Senator Glycia? Before you can answer, Boo snatches the brush out of Xanthe's hand and smears his own lips with the pigment. He flashes you a red-smeared grin. Ah, get it away from my things. You look so pretty. Xanthe takes her brush away, distastefully handing you her soiled one with the tips of 2 fingers. I'm not putting anything on my face that touches the monkey lips, so the Glycia won't want to smell your disgusting beast on me. Vulcanalia is a religious festival, Xanthe, not a party. The senator will expect you to be respectful. If Glycia asked me to be there, he's not going to be for the sacrifices. Do you never think beyond the bedchamber? Perhaps if you spent more time in the bedchamber, you'd have an engagement for Vulcanalia, too. Did Aaron not tell you, Xanthe? Mark Anthony asked her to preside over the ceremonies with him. His smirk as Xanthe's jaw nearly hits the ground. I'm sure you and Senator Glycius will have front row seats. Anthony will be leading the public sacrifices throughout both days of Vulcanalia. If you're to appear at his side, Aaron, you should be dressed to honor Vulcan. Lena rummages through the chest of dresses, coming up with a beautiful dress embroidered in all the colors of the flame. Vulcan is the god of fire and the forge. If you wear this, you will look like a living flame. She hands you the dress along with the necklace of garnets in the shape of a phoenix. You will look divinely blessed should you attend the ceremonies in this outfit. Wear the flames, honor the god Vulcan, impress the Roman people, and hold Mark Antony's attention. It's not bad. It's very pretty. I like the colors. I also see her tattoo. Not bad colors, but I'm gonna pass. I am fine wearing this. Vulcan is a god of Rome, and I do not owe him my worship. As you like, though Anthony is hardly the sort of man who will wish to be seen with you looking less than your best. Changed your mind? No, shut up. Lena shoos you both towards the chalet doors. Now go. The festivities will begin with the sunrise. You stand just behind Mark Antony as the forum fills with people coming to celebrate Vulcanalia. People of Rome, in Caesar's name, I bring you this celebration. The crowd cheers loudly enough to drown Antony's powerful voice. He waits a moment before continuing. Pompey Magnus and the cowards of the Senate have fled for their own safety, but Caesar entrusts me to show his bounty to Rome. Praise Caesar! But it is not enough for Caesar to have our support. What do the gods say of his victories? He gestures and the crowd parts to allow a young priestess through, leading a white bull. The priestess takes her place beside Anthony, and you step back into the shadows. The priestess lights incense, waving it over the head of the bull. Who is this chick? I mean, I know we've seen her before, but who? Divine Vulcan, god of metal and flame, be honored by this incense. Be honored by the libation offered to you. As the priestess sprinkles an offering of wine over the bull's head, Mark Antony takes a step back to whisper to you. Ah, the required sacrifices, because a bull's intestines are the most reliable way to understand a man's future. If you don't believe in the auguries, why conduct them? The public demands it, and it's a cheap price to pay for their support. The future is sometimes what we make it. Now that he grins at you. Let's make it fun. Just in front of you, the priestess intones the final blessing, then draws her knife sharply across the bull's throat, stepping back gracefully to catch the spurting blood in the bowl. As the bull bellows and collapses, the priestess slices open the belly, watching the guts spill out in a tangle of red, purple and red. The auguries predict victory for Caesar. Victory for Caesar. And then he continues to mockingly whisper the priestess's augury, word for word, just seconds before she announces it. And a brutal defeat for the forces of Pompey and the Senate. And a brutal defeat for the forces of Pompey and the Senate. How do you... Because I wrote it for 3 days ago. Smiles at your shocked expression. This is in Caesar's honor. Do you think I'm going to leave it up to some priestess to decide what to say about him? I hadn't realized your influence extended to the temples. 1,000 denarii extend your influence anywhere. Divine Vulcan shows his favor to Rome in the gift of its greatest general. Praise Caesar! Praise Divine Vulcan! You look at the still steaming entrails, trying to fathom how anyone can read anything from the random arrangement. You're in the College of Augurs, are you not? That's Caesar's own appointment. So, what does it really say? Guess. You look back and forth between the entrails and Anthony's smirking face, considering. I think the real reading is a warning that Caesar will fall. Anthony laughs. The only thing it tells me is that tonight there'll be beef on the menu. Oh, I like you. Later, when the archeries are complete, you and Anthony ride together in an open wagon down the crowded streets. Cheers go up every time the people catch sight of Anthony, who glows at their adoration. Praise Caesar! Praise Anthony! Ah, praise Caesar, conqueror of Gaul. For a moment, you can't help but remembering the last time you were paraded down these same streets, the mobs of Romans howling for your blood. That's new. They haven't changed. Anthony looks at you shrewdly, seeming to guess what you're thinking. But you have. Suddenly you hear a familiar voice coming from the other side of the road. Cassius has gathered a small crowd of plebeians and is shouting to be heard over the ambient din. Caesar is a threat to the very existence of the Republic. The Senate abandoned the Republic. The most precious thing any of us have is our liberty as citizens of Rome. Caesar would take that from you. And then he signals the driver to slow the wagon, listening to Cassius with a sly smile. Poor Cassius. He doesn't seem to be having much luck. Caesar gives us bread and games. The common people care far less about liberty and the Republic than the Senate likes to convince themselves. Cassius. Deserves the attention or our attention? Speaks the truth. He does speak the truth. Do you think Caesar won't take away liberties these people care about? Anthony shrugs and grins. Certainly not before it's too late for them to stop him. Anthony suddenly stands in the wagon, drawing all eyes. His voice, used to communicating across the battlefield, rises effortlessly above Cassius's. People of Rome, behold great Caesar's generosity. Anthony takes a bag of silver sesterces from the folds of his tunic and flings a handful into the street. The plebeians instantly turn their backs on Cassius and fall upon the prize. Praise Caesar! Praise Anthony! Cassius turns on Anthony with a fury. You know I speak the truth, though you would stuff my throat with coins to silence me. Lovely words, Cassius, but you'll need more than words to get the plebes on your side. You can't eat, wear, or screw a word. The mob is fickle, Anthony. They may love you now, but they'll turn on you the moment the coin and bread stop coming. It's the easiest thing in the world to keep the bribes coming. Bread and circuses are all you need. So this is all just a distraction. Of course. Feed their bodies and their impulses, and no one will ever think to ask what you're distracting them from. It's sad because I've always had this thought, and I've always wanted people to break it. It's even today, to this day. It's a mob mentality, which does exist, unfortunately, in even America or throughout most of the countries. The people, unfortunately, are not smarter than you give them credit for. How long did Caesar and Rome and the whole nine yards do what they did? How long has America done what it's done? How long has China, Russia, all these other places? I wouldn't say it must be controlled. It is a mob that is controllable because the ignorance is bliss. I really wish there was a third option here. I want to say the people are smarter. Since it's coming out of Aaron's mouth, it's something that a little inkling in me hopes for, that the people are smarter than you give them credit for. It has nothing to do with intelligence, it's motivation. Most people don't care enough to change society if they're happy themselves. Keep them happy, and society is what you make it. Again, I entirely agree with him. It's true. It's true. I don't know how many things I've tried to make people realize, and no one changes laws even. People will rise to your expectations of them. Treat them like a mob, and they will behave that way. Treat them like citizens, and they will be the backbone of society. spoken like a man who has never had to sit in the stands at our arena or wait in a line to buy his own wine. Excuse me. Before Cassius can respond, Anthony kisses your hand and leaps lightly down from the wagon. He crosses the road to speak to one of the priestesses of Vulcan, who is handing burning brands to the crowd. Cassius watches Anthony as he disappears into the crowd, then crosses closer to you, a conflicted look on his face. I am surprised to see you here with Anthony. I'm sorry, Cassius. No, I know you must entertain other patrons. I just hadn't expected it to be him. Cassius sneaks a poisonous glance at Anthony's back before turning to you with a tight smile. This should be the last time you're forced to attend him, at least. Oh, did something happen to Caesar? I've had word from Cornelius. Caesar had only had ships enough to bring half his legions to Greece. Pompey's army will outnumber him 2-1. The Senate is sure to triumph. Pray you're right. A quick defeat for Caesar will be a gift from the gods. It won't be easy, but Pompey Magnus has the best of Rome with him. It was the madness of Caesar to pursue them without his full strength. Come, walk with me. Anthony will not soon be back. Well, that and Caesar's ego. Caesar had gone on such a long undefeated streak. Climbed down from Anthony's wagon and joined Cassius in the crowded streets. A short way ahead, you notice a display of oiled, half-naked gladiators posing in the forum, men and women surrounding them, oogling their muscled forms and jostling to get close enough to touch. Aaron. You hear your name at the same moment as you recognize Suffix. Suffix, what are you doing here? Suffix shrugs uncomfortably, and you can't help notice how the oil makes his muscles ripple with movement. Legate Aquala apparently believes that displaying his best stock will win his Ludus the patronage of certain noble women. Legate Aquala. Belatedly, you notice the overseer standing behind the gladiators, announcing to everyone who stops to stare. The finest gladiators from Ludus Aquala are good bet in or out of the arena. Aquala bought my contract. I didn't have a way to tell you before now. Suffix, I'm so sorry. Legate Aquala bought your contract? I'm sorry, and I have to serve him for now. If I refuse, I would... No, you must do what you need to survive. I only know he's not a kind man. I wouldn't want to hear of him mistreating you. The Fix reaches out as if to take your hand, but is stopped by the snap of the overseer's whip. So far, he seems no different than I expect from any master. I'm glad. Tell me, have you seen my father? I have, and I have to say meeting him explains a lot. What do you mean? He survived 8 years, fighting in the ring. You have a lot of the same strength in you. Face suddenly goes grim. You take a step forward in alarm. What? He was confined to a cell for murdering another Ludus owner. He called him Caesar's first spear. Remember the first spear's face as he dragged your mother away. Seize them! Oh, I know who he is. I figured he was on your list. Cassius looks warily back and forth between the two of you. I'm guessing I shouldn't ask. Suddenly you hear a commanding voice call out your name behind you, and you turn to see Aaron. And then he walks up and slings a casual arm around your shoulders. The burdens of leadership. You leave to make one lousy blood sacrifice, and you come back to find your woman staring at gladiators. Apologies, Anthony. I wasn't sure how long your duties would hold you. My duties include being seen with the most beautiful woman in Rome on my arm. So when shall we have our parade? The public is still waiting to see the bride of Vulcan on my arm. You hesitate, glancing back at Cassius and Suffix. Cassius steps in front of Anthony. Vulcanalia should end with a parade, not start with it, Anthony. We're not here for you to show off, we're here for the ceremony to ensure the safety of Rome. Ah, yes, the ceremony. Because Vulcan, the god of fire, needs us to set things on fire for him. We light fires in his honor, so he protects us from the wildfires that could destroy the city even more quickly than you can. Cassius turns to you, takes your hand in his. It is a beautiful ritual, actually. One in which all people of the Republic come together. I would love for you to see it, Aaron. Of course you'll see it. After our parade. As the two men glare at each other, you hear Suffix's voice, soft behind you. Together, the official ceremonies aren't the only ones today. We also have a celebration at night, among the plebeians and slaves. They are your people much more than these patricians. Overseer cracks his whip and Suffix falls back, raising his eyebrows, as if to remind you to find him after dark. A moment later, Cassius releases your hand and steps back away from Anthony's gaze. I'll be attending the ceremonies later, Aaron. Join me if you're interested. Sweet Mother of Jesus, we get it. You're a woman and you're surrounded by 3 men who all want to do you. He leaves and Anthony gives you a mocking bow. My public awaits. Join me when you're ready. He saunters away and you hear the cheering of the crowd as he approaches. Unlock one or all of these exclusive scenes with Cassius Suffix and Mark Anthony to celebrate Vulcanalia and improve your relationships. 16 diamonds a pop, it's 48. Head back to the chalet. I think I've had enough for today. I'm ready to get some sleep and away from testosterone and egos. Exhausted from the festivities, you turn and start to walk home. Now playing as Delphinia. Another priestess of the Circus kneels before you to be inducted into the mysteries. Welcome, daughter, to the cave of Isis. Thank you, Holy Mother. Do you feel her presence? Not yet. Will you accept me as a voice of Isis? Offer your life to the goddess. Accept the goddess in all her guises. Yes, Holy Mother. Suddenly the young priestess flinches away as a shadow darkens the door of the sacred cave.
No more. Your foul foreign sorcery has corrupted my priestesses long enough.
You turn to see Luna Pythia stalk furiously into the cave. Heedless of the sacred water splashing against her ankles, she grabs your arm with fingers that pinch like a vice.
I will send you far from here, where you'll never see another priestess again.
I am not yours to sell. Your voice is calm and level, showing no reaction to the force of her grip. I am the priestess of Isis, and the chosen of the goddess. I am no one's slave, least of all of yours. Please, Luna Pythia, listen to her. She truly is blessed. Luna Pythia slaps the girl with her free hand, sending her stumbling backwards into the water.
She is no one.
You will regret that.
You're coming with me.
Luna Pythia pulls on your arm with surprising strength, but you remain unmoving.
Now!
Luna Pythia hauls with all of her strength, but you are like a tree, rooted to the earth and do not budge. You do not touch the Holy Mother! The cave darkens once again, and this time you look up to see Marcella, at the head of the crowd of every priestess and guard you have inducted into the mysteries of Isis.
Get out of here! This doesn't concern you!
A flash of sunlight from behind them reveals that every one of them is carrying a sacrificial dagger. Delphinia is the voice of Isis. If you seek to harm her, the goddess herself will bring you down. Thank you, child. The mob moves forward menacingly, and Luna Pythia seems to suddenly realize the danger she's in. Her furious scowl turns to pleading.
No, she's just a slave, a barbarian. She's used her sorcery to trick you.
Your time is over, false priestess. Whatever power Rome granted you, it is nothing to the gods.
No, please!
The goddess's anger will scorch anyone who blasphemes her name. The mob advances, sacrificial daggers held before them. Luna Pythia starts to retreat, feet slipping on the wet stones.
Help! Please! Anyone help!
Within seconds, she's up against the wall of the cave, held in place by the throng of your acolytes. What should we do with our Holy Mother? I like how we have the endless summer visa going. You should let her go, never return here, offer a swift and merciful death. Wall her up as a sacrifice to Isis. Ooh. Well, I don't know Isis's teachings. So I feel like walling her up would allow Isis to decide. Offer a swift, merciful death would kill her immediately. And let her go, never to return here. I feel like that's every good guy trope, to let the enemy go and then they come back and then the good guy either is ascending beyond that or falls to it. You know what? We'll go with the neutral. Wall her up. Presence here sullied these sacred waters. Let her death purify them.
No!
You walk to the mouth of the cave with a crowd of your acolytes at your back. Wall her up. Marcella holds Luna, Pythia back as the other acolytes grab stones and brick and branches to pile in front of the entrance to the cave.
No, please. Let me go. You can have my temple.
The priestesses move aside to let Marcella out, leveling their daggers at Luna Pythia to drive her back into the darkness.
Please, I promise you.
Voice fades as the barrier in front of the cave grows thicker and stronger until no one could ever get out. Later, you stand before your congregation in full regalia of a senior priestess, the first time you have worn your birthright since your capture. Rejoice, for today Isis has delivered us from the tyranny of a false priestess and freed us to worship her as she is meant to be worshipped. Bless you, Holy Mother. Praise the name of Isis, the great mother, and Delphinia, her servant. I think you're going mad with power, woman. Now is playing his errand. It is the end of Vulcanalia, and you are winding your way back home through the piles of trash and sleeping people in the darkened streets. The festival has mostly wound down, although a few isolated groups are still dancing around distant fires. Need everyone patrolling the streets. Aquala. Immediately recognize Legate Aquala's voice and flattened behind a column, searching for him.
This is the time when the fires get out of control. I want men ready with buckets, then others with swords. A man starts a fight, I want him in a cell.
The Aquala issuing orders at a group of soldiers.
Yes, Vicarious.
With a sharp salute, the soldiers disperse into the city. You shrink back as Aquala and personal guards stalk past you without noticing. This could be my chance. Carefully, you stay back until Aquala is just barely in sight, and then follow. Aquala and his men weave through the streets at a fast clip. It's difficult to keep up with him while trying to stay out of sight.
Don't see any Anthony out here patrolling.
Aquala passes a couple frantically groping in the shadow of the Temple of Vulcan.
Get out of here, dog!
The man scurries away, and Aquala turns and looks almost straight at you. Duck into a doorway. You duck into an open doorway at the temple, smelling the smoke of the day's fires. Outside, you hear Aquala call out,
Who's there?
You hold your breath, trying to avoid his attention, and after a moment he turns back and keeps walking. Phew. Cautiously, you ease back out and take up the chase again. Eventually, you trail Aquala to the empty forum outside the Senate, Celia. It is deserted now, filled with nothing more than the embers of the fading bonfires. Suddenly, look at Aquala, realizes he is being followed, and whirls around.
Who's following me?
But to your astonishment, the anger in his eyes fades when he sees you, replaced by undistinguished lust.
Well, if it isn't Anthony's Courtesan.
He freezes as he comes closer. Anthony's courtesan. Is that all I am to you?
You know, when I saw you in the Pompina, I couldn't remember where I'd seen you before, but now I do.
Good, because I will never forget you.
You're the woman I caught with my wife. I knew you were no priestess, just a common whore. So you'll service Anthony. How about vicarious Irby? I could make it worth your while.
Your thoughts whirl as you realize he doesn't know who you all really are. There must be a way to turn this to your advantage. Do you really want to make Anthony mad? Anthony wouldn't like it if you touch me.
Anthony wouldn't believe the word of a whore of his vicarious.
Quala's eyes narrow and he signals to his guards.
Taking her home, men. Make sure no one interrupts us.
Your dagger feels hot against your thigh as the soldiers walk out of sight. And you are left alone for the first time to seek vengeance against the man who enslaved your family. The man who brought you to Rome. Next time on Courtesan of Rome. Is your moment of vengeance finally at hand, or will the guide to Quala prove to be more difficult to quarry than you expect? I don't know. But I'm so tired of this book and show. Yeah! I said booking, by the way. In case you didn't get it. So, I don't know. This book's, it's okay. It's just, I don't know. What's the word for it? I'm sure some of you could come up to it. I try and make it as entertaining and whatnot as possible, but it's difficult. It's difficult at times. So, with that being said, today is kind of like an off day for me, so I at least hope y'all did enjoy. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you're not already. Because, hey, you know what? Do you want to miss out on more great content? I didn't think so. So hit that subscribe button and the notification little bell so you receive notifications when any and all videos go up. And speaking of whatnot, go down in the description below. There's links to social media, our Discord where you can come hang out with me as well as many others, and links to support me and my content. It's greatly appreciated. It helps to continue to do what I do as well as to support the community and channel. So we can grow and I can put in more time, quality, effort, whatnot. So without further ado, thank you all for tuning in, and I will catch you guys hopefully on a stream or on the next video. Peace.